Welcome to What's Going On, the weekly podcast and videocast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of What's Going On. I'm Pastor Katie here at First United Methodist, and I'm glad you could join me for this episode. We are in the month of November, and we are rapidly approaching Advent and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of the things. And it feels like when we hit this point in the year, things just start speeding up, and we have a lot of things that are happening and going on. And I want to make you aware of those things. It's exciting. It's an exciting time of year. But it also means the more that we have going on at the church, the more that we need your involvement. The more hands that we have doing any of these things, the more fun we have doing them, and the easier they are accomplished. And so I want to begin with, we're going to be wrapping up our sermon series this Sunday on our 3 essential prayers. And we are going to be talking about wow, which is a different kind of prayer. And so I'm really excited. We're also going to be showcasing our prayer boxes. So if you made a prayer box, I really would love that you bring your prayer box to church and to kind of be able to show it. I know that our Sunday school kids, there were quite a few of them last night at 6:05 that made prayer boxes for that as well. And it was so cool to see them, and it was so cool for the kids to show me about their prayer boxes. They were really excited about it. I know that my own kids have been using theirs and talking about prayer a lot more, and excited about talking to God and going to God with the things that they care about. And so I hope that it is that kind of experience for you as well. And so that is one thing that I want you to be aware about for this Sunday. And even if you don't bring yours, I do encourage you, especially if you don't yet have a regular habit of prayer, or you're just not thinking about it, having something physical, tangible to look at, somewhere to put those prayers can often be a good help to encourage that spiritual discipline, which is essential to who we are. It is essential to our relationship with God and our discipleship with Jesus Christ. And so it's not something I want you to skip over, especially if that's something that you've struggled with in the past. This Sunday, we're also going to be doing one of our United Methodist special giving Sundays. It is Student Sunday, which is one that I am particularly very excited about and always happy to support. Because I've been a United Methodist student. I've benefited from people who've been generous in helping the next generation be educated and equipped to take leadership roles in the church. When I went to Garrett Evangelical to get my Master's of Divinity, I was able to go with a full ride scholarship, which was so important to me because I didn't have the money to go back to school again. And I knew that God wanted this from me, and that was made possible because people were generous and invested in my life in that way. And so this one is, I guess, a little close to my heart. So that you're going to have that opportunity this week. And then for the following Sunday, which is a 5th Sunday, we are doing our special mission bucket offering, and that's going to the patients of the Human Services Center, which is our state mental hospital. We will be taking monetary donations during the bucket offering, but then you've also been invited to bring in items that we've been collecting in the big red box on the mission table. And so that will be kind of your last opportunity to do that as well. We really want to bless the patients out there. They're often people that don't always have a lot of support. They don't have a lot of family, and the holidays can be very hard, either if you're alone or you're separated from the people that you love. And so I think it would be really good for us to support them in that way. And I've over the years, I've been hosting services out there once a month and have gotten to know the people out there. And I really believe that God is working through that place, and that if we can partner with God in that way and continue to show people the love and grace of Jesus when these are people who are struggling and who need and who haven't always experienced the world as a kind place. And we can be part of changing that for them. And so I hope that you would join us in that. We have a couple of Advent series coming up. So Advent starts on November 30th. So this Sunday is our final prayer sermon, and then the 30th starts Advent. Prior to that, we need to decorate the church. And so all of next week, if you are available at all, stop by the church. We're going to pull out the decorations. And if you've got an hour or two to help put some things up, we would love to have your help. And then on the 29th, that Saturday morning, at 10 a.m. Is the final push to get everything set up so that our church is ready to go for the Advent and Christmas season. It takes a lot of work. We recognize that there won't be people available on Saturday, but especially earlier in the week, if you want to come and grab a friend and hey, let's go spend 2 hours, putting up a Christmas tree or hanging up some garland or something, every bit helps. Because on the 30th, we start Advent. And we have a tradition in our church that in that first Sunday of Advent, in the first full hymn that we do, you will have an opportunity to finish hanging the greens is, kind of the traditional language, but by hanging ornaments on the two trees that will be at the front of the sanctuary. And so, again, please consider helping us get the church ready for this wonderful season. We have such a beautiful facility, and when it is all decked out for Christmas, it's breathtaking. It really is. But the more hands that we have helping with that, the better it goes. And you do not want to leave me to being the person to do it. This is not my skill. I am a good worker bee. I do not have the vision. And I am not great at the fiddly things with decorating. There's a lot of things I can do. That is not one of them. And so I need your help with that. Uh, so starting the 30th, we're going to be starting our Advent series, and we're doing a sermon series based on the work of Ed Robb, which I'm really excited about. We also are going to be offering 2 Advent studies that I want you to be aware of. So my Tuesday noon class is going to be doing an Advent study starting December 2nd, and you'll see the information for that as it both in the newsletter and in the bulletin and on the screens. And then the one I'm really excited, I love my Tuesday class, and I would love for you to come and join us, because if you are available Tuesdays at lunch, that is honestly the place to be. And we have so much fun. This past week, Bob Thuy shared his talk that he did at Walk to Emmaus with us, and it was amazing. And it's just such an incredible group of people, and I would love for you to be a part of it, especially if you haven't been a part of a study for a while. That's a great one to be a part of. But the other one that we're doing, I am super excited about, and that is we are going to be offering for Advent a family intergenerational Sunday school study, and it's called The Heart That Grew Three Sizes. It's based on How the Grinch Stole Christmas from Dr. Seuss, but it is looking at the themes in that story and how they relate to the Christmas story and the themes we see there. And it is for all ages. And what we really want to see are families coming together, and also our older people connecting with our younger people. So often, one of the things that we hear is, they don't get a lot of time together. And how many of you really love seeing the kids. And this is an opportunity for you to get to be a part of kind of this intergenerational experience. And so the way that it's going to look is I'm partnering with our brand new children's coordinator, Brooklyn Glazer, and we are working together to put this on. And so everyone will come to Wesley Hall. We're going to start out together. We'll have kind of a big group thing that we do. And then Brooklyn's going to take the kids off, and they're going to do she's going to teach them the Bible story. They're going to read the relevant parts of the book, while we are going to be the adults are going to stay and watch a video, kind of talking about some of the themes that we see and that are a little more. The videos just really aren't for kids, and I don't mean that in a rated R way or something, but as Brooklyn and I were watching the videos, she's like, yeah, kids won't care about this. So it's an opportunity for the adults to dig a little deeper, right? It is also for you. It's not just for the kids. We'll have a time where you will get to engage with the Christmas story and the story of the Grinch as well. And then we'll come all back together with some of the things we've learned and do a fun thing together before we wrap it up in the morning. So I'm really excited about this. I really believe that our church should be doing things together and that we really want to value our families and our children and our youth. Um, and this is one of the ways that we can do that. And we've been talking about what can we do for our children on Sunday mornings. And right now, my Sunday morning class will be on hiatus for Advent. And so this is their opportunity as well. And for me to be available to do something like this. And if this goes over really well, then maybe we'll look at doing another one for Lent or something like that. So we really want to, we're trying something here, and we hope that you would join us in that. I think it's going to be really fun. Brooklyn and I are super excited about it. I think it's just going to be a great opportunity for families to get to learn together and to model discipleship, but also, be learning things themselves as well. And so that's happening. That'll start November 30th. You do not have to make it to all of them. If you're like, oh, well, we can't be there one of the weeks, we're just not doing it. Don't do that. Instead, come for what you can come to. Even if it's only one of them, we want you to come and experience it and be a part of it. It's not building on each other necessarily, so you can definitely come, even if you only make it to the 21st, come to that one. We want you to be there. And then so that's the other one I'm really excited about. We're not going to be doing Pastor Book Club in December. We are going to in November. Let me look at the date so I have it right. And of course, I put my calendar on December right now. The 24th. So that's this coming Monday. I better finish my book. We're going to be having Pastor Book Club, and we are talking about The In-Between, which is a book written by Hadley Vlahos, who is a hospice nurse, and it's her experiences. I've been hearing rumblings that people are recommending the book to each other. So I hope that you come and share your thoughts about it. What I've been hearing is that the book made them laugh and made them cry in the best kinds of ways. And so I'm really excited for the discussion for this month because I think it's good for us to talk about end of life things. So often we're so scared to talk about it and so scared because I think sometimes we think we might bring it on if we acknowledge that it exists. But it's good for us to hear the stories and to normalize it because death is a part of our life and none of us get to escape that. And it's better for us to approach it with compassion and approach it with grace than to be afraid of it. So that's what's happening this Monday night, Pastor Book Club, 7 o'clock here at the church. And I will finish the book because, no, wait. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I had another week, but I don't. So guess what I'll be doing this weekend? But I love it. So it's been great. I haven't finished it yet. December, we're going to put a pause in Pastor Book Club just because it is a very busy month and not a lot of people have extra time for reading. And also, I'm going to be taking some vacation during the time that we normally would meet for Pastor Book Club. So we will resume that in January. If you have ideas of books that you think would be really great for us to read and to discuss, I would love to hear those thoughts from you. We do kind of a range of different types of books. And so I'm happy to take requests as well. If there's something that really has spoken to you and you're like, I'd really love to have people to talk about this book with somebody, let me know. But we're going to take that break during December. December also, I just want you to get it on your calendar that we will be having Blue Christmas. It will be at Yankton UCC this year. And that is on Tuesday, December 16th at 7 o'clock. We are adding in another church this year. Trinity Lutheran is going to be joining us in the rotation of hosting Blue Christmas and leading that. And I'm really excited. We're hoping to kind of include more and more churches, but I think sometimes churches need, if it's not something that's part of their tradition normally, they kind of need to see what it is and understand it a little more before they're willing to commit to something like that. But I think you and I both know the power of a Blue Christmas service, especially for those who are grieving or experiencing loss around the Christmas time, to be able to have a place that you don't have to be okay. So often we feel a lot of pressure for the jolliness of Christmas, but Blue Christmas services allow us to name and sit with the grief of not having people around that we want to have been around at Christmas, or to just whatever is going on, and to name and have sacred space for how we are really feeling and what we are really going through. And so I love that service. I hope that you would consider coming again to Yankton UCC this year for Blue Christmas. We are having two Christmas Eve services this year, again, 4:30 and 7. I'm going to be offering communion at both this year. And so I hope that you plan to make it to one of those. I am still looking for a family or a couple or even two friends. It doesn't matter to me. I just find that it's helpful if there's at least two people to light the Advent wreath for our later Christmas Eve service. That's the only opening I still have left. And so if you know that you're going to be attending that 7 o'clock service on Christmas Eve, would you let me know if you're willing to read the liturgy and light the candles? Because I would love to have people help me with that. Also, I'm looking for special music for Christmas Eve. If you are gifted, or if maybe a member of your family that you know is going to be back for one of those two services would like to offer a gift of music, please let me know. I'd be happy to incorporate that into our services. So I just want to put that out there. Again, I just will say that in the end of after Christmas Eve services, I'm going to be off for I will come back for the service in January. Carl Watkins is going to be leading the service on December 28th. This is part of the commitment that I made over the summer to really take my vacation time and to give myself times of rest. The Christmas and Advent season are especially busy, and the fall has been especially busy. And so I had planned a while ago that I would start taking time off right after Christmas. It's usually a good lull time for me to be able to do that before we kind of kick off into a new year. And so that is my plan. Um, yeah, I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute today. Apparently, I've had too much caffeine, but um, the other thing I want to put out there for your help as well is that Sarah Clavon, who is our praise team coordinator, has submitted her resignation as well. This coming Sunday will be her last Sunday leading worship with us. We have been so grateful for Sarah and for the time that she came to our church and filled this role, and all that she has done for us, and the way in which she has been so faithful to our church. But Sarah has moved up to Freeman and is working full time up there, and it's just become increasingly more difficult for her to get back down here, and has made that difficult decision that it's time for her to step away. And so we are going to be looking for someone to fill that role, or some ideas for what we can do moving forward. And so if you have someone in your life, or maybe it is you who thinks this is my time, this is my shot, this is my opportunity, please encourage them to come talk to me, come talk to our SPR. But we're going to be looking at some creative ways of figuring out what to do in the meantime. In December for Advent, we're going to lean into the more traditional, doing Christmas carols and things like that. So I think that will work out just fine. But in January, we'd really love to have a plan moving forward. And again, we are so grateful for Sarah and all the work that she has done, and she will definitely be missed, but we wish her the best as she moves on to the next chapter of her life. And we are grateful for all that God has done in and through her while she has been here. And so, again, be on the lookout, be recruiting. We still have Craig's position as well, as he is retiring. So lots of changes. I jokingly talk to the rest of our staff. Are you good? Are we staying here? Or is Yankton where you are? And everyone's good. So yeah, it's always it's always a hard thing to make these kinds of changes, especially when people have been around for a while. But we know that God is faithful, and it's a great opportunity for new people to step into these roles and to bring their energy and their excitement and their perspective into serving God in and through the work that we do here at the church. And so I'm excited for the opportunity that it provides. But there's always that season of anxiousness, when one chapter ends before the next one begins. And so I would invite your prayers over all of those things as we have been praying. And partially, now that we've talked a lot about prayer in our worship service, is a good way to use it. And so I hope that you do. But I also am fully confident in God's provision, that God is good, that God has been faithful, and God will continue to be faithful. And I say that also, again, with openings still on leadership team. And I know that there are people out there who are dragging their feet and having those moments of, God, are you sure? Are you sure that you really want me? And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that I understand that feeling, and that I felt that many, many times when I felt the nudge into ministry, that, God, are you sure about this? Are you sure that it's me that you want? There are better people out there. And God always came back and said, no, this is what I'm asking of you. And I know that God is asking some people out in our congregation to step up and serve in this way. And I would encourage you to be brave and bold and trust in God's guidance, that God is nudging you for a reason. And that, none of these things we do on our own, that you will be supported and cared for and loved as you help lead the church. And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take that step to overcome that anxiety. Because again, I wept when the night that I knew that God was calling me into ministry. And I don't say that lightly, but there was so much fear and so much trepidation and so much, God, I don't know that I can do this. And God, why are you asking me? And I look back now and I'm so grateful that God did. And I'm so grateful that I've been called into the roles that I have and gotten to do the things that I've done and been put in the positions that I have. And so many times I feel like, what am I doing here? But God has blessed me in so many ways because of it. And so I feel humbled to have been asked by God to do the work that I do. And I know that it is a humbling thing. And I hope that you would also be willing to step in and to step up and to say, there is a role here for me that God has been asking, and I have just been afraid, but it's time. And so I'm ready and willing to have that conversation with you. And I know that God is at work. And so I trust in that. I trust in this church, and that God is doing good things in and through us. And so I thank you. I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving next week. I think we will take next week off of the podcast since it normally comes out on Thanksgiving, and you will hear back from me in 2 weeks as we dive into Advent. So until then, God bless. Thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Going On, a video and audio podcast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota. We'd love to have you join us for worship on Sundays at 10 a.m., either in person or via our live stream, which can be found at our website, www.firstumcyankton.org, or by searching First UMC Yankton on YouTube.